Lisa, your story broke many hearts. Kidnapping, captivity by serial killer Bobbyjoelong, surviving against all odds. Tell us, how did it all start? What happened before that terrifying night?
It was just a cold November night in 1984. I was 17, working the night shift at Krispy Kreme, a popular place where they made donuts. After work, I got on my bike and was heading home. It was very dark and cold. The streets were almost empty. I was tired, but thinking about my family, about home. I had no idea how terribly things would change. As I rode past a church, I suddenly heard a sharp honk. I turned around, and a car stopped nearby. He got out very quickly and grabbed my arm. I tried to scream, but he pressed a gun to my temple and said quietly but firmly, "If you scream, I'll shoot you." Fear literally paralyzed me, but I understood. If I screamed, it would be the end.
You couldn't fight back?
No, his grip was very strong. He dragged me to the car. Every cell in my body was terrified, but I knew the only hope to survive was to stay calm. He put me in the trunk of a red-green Dodge Magnum. It was dark, cramped, and very stuffy. They blindfolded me and tied my hands behind my back. I knew I had to remember everything. The sound of the engine, the smell of rubber, even the word Magnum on the dashboard. I listened carefully, trying to keep every sound, every movement in my memory. That could become the key to my rescue. After a few hours, he brought me to a small apartment. The room was tiny with an old green carpet stained with big red spots. In the corner was a fridge with a clock glowing cold blue light. I spent 26 hours there. I was scared. During that time, he did whatever he wanted to me. He forced silence, forced obedience, forced stillness, touching, control, threats, and over again. He did things to me that I never agreed to. I lay on the floor, afraid to even breathe. And every time I tried to disappear in my mind, he broke that. The pain became so overwhelming that my body stopped feeling. Only my mind remained, and I used it to survive. You know why I survived those 26 hours? Because what most people would call their worst nightmare was already part of my everyday life. I lived in a home where family meant something twisted. My stepfather, he would come into my room at night while everyone else was asleep. My mother knew. She just looked away. I learned not to cry, not to scream, not to move. My body hadn't belonged to me for a long time. So that night, I knew what to do. I wasn't allowed to break. I knew I had to leave traces. I touched things to leave fingerprints, hair falling out. My mind didn't stop working. Every move, every word he could tell the police about. He talked to me, not just like a victim. Sometimes he seemed to seek understanding. He said I was special, that he needed me. I listened, but tried to stay cold, gathering information. He talked about his factory job, his ex-girlfriend, the pain of loss. I remembered his voice, his accent, the smell of cigarettes and tattoos on his arms, 2 big dragons. I realized there was some doubt in him. He wasn't just a beast. Sometimes he cried, looked at me with unexpected tenderness. The last night he changed. I felt he became less aggressive. I tried to talk to him. I said I could be his daughter or someone close. Those words seemed to break him. He cried, looked me in the eyes, and said I wasn't like the others. He said, "You're not a killer." Then he told me to count to 100 and run away. That was my chance, and I took it.
Did you feel he sympathized with you?
Yes. Even fear disappeared for a moment. There was a strange confusion in his eyes. He seemed afraid to lose me, but didn't want to hurt me. I ran barefoot down a cold, dark street. It hurt, but I couldn't stop. I remember a big oak tree. It became my landmark. Eventually, I got to a neighbor's and asked for help. They called the police. I described everything in detail: the car's route, the apartment, smells, sounds, tattoos, even the ATM number where he withdrew money. At first, not everyone believed me, but Detective Pinkerton believed and took the case. They found hair, carpet fibers, fingerprints on me. Lab tests confirmed. These were my proofs. Long was arrested at a movie theater where he was watching films. He was shocked by the evidence and confessed. I felt I did something important, helped save others. Now I work with the police, helping victims of violence. My life is a story of strength and hope.
What would you say to people going through their darkest moments right now?
You can survive. You just need to make it till morning. And remember, even in the darkest times, there is hope. I survived. And now I live to help others.
Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss chilling true stories based on real events. We create videos that give a voice to those whose pain was silenced for too long. Dive with us into a world of darkness and truth. Raw first-person stories you won't forget. Room number 8. Where the unheard finally speak.